Greetings and great things. It is Q Talks once again, and I am back with another episode of Black Swan Theory. I want to start again by just saying thank you for your recent love, support, comments. I read all of the comments, and I always tell you guys if you watch my video, you want to have a conversation, or you have a question, or even a topic suggestion, comment it and I will read it and I will respond or act on it. Okay? So, today's topic, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the topics I have. I can tell that you guys have as well by the views, excuse me, and the engagement. So, thank you once again. Today's topic is why spiritually aware people struggle or appear to struggle in modern society. Okay. And as always, I have my notes. So if you see me looking, that's what I'm looking at. So, why spiritually aware people appear to struggle in modern society? This is a topic similar to the previous one that I think is very important to discuss, and one that I resonate with highly also because of my own life experiences, right? That have led me to this point. So I think it's very important to address the fact that, first of all, in a blind society, right, those that see are mad. So the reason why I wanted to start it off with that is because there is a quote or some sort of analogy out there. If anybody knows the exact quote, please comment it below, where it says something like, in a society where everything is like so unhealthy, the marker of being aware and being healthy in the society is not fitting in or appearing to be you know opposite to the society or insane in this society. And the reason why I wanted to give you that example and open it up with that example, that metaphor, right, is because if we imagine if we lived in a world where everybody, not metaphorically, but literally, physically was blind and incapable of sight and seeing, right? If we lived in a world where that was the norm, the people who were born with the ability to see, with vision, with sight, those people would be considered to be the insane people, the outsiders, the outliers, the different ones, the weird ones, right? The anomaly. Why? Because in this world where everybody is unable to see, there are these few people who claim to be able to see, right? And like I said, in a world where the dominant society cannot see, people coming out of nowhere saying that they can see would seem kind of wild. It's like kind of crazy. So I want you to now take that and apply that to the world that we live in, make it metaphorical, but realize that is the world that we live in. We live in a world where majority of the people have no spiritual sight, right? They cannot see. So for those of us who can see, we almost feel or are seen as mad. It is a maddening experience because you are aware of what the general population, the general consciousness has no awareness of, right? And I think another thing about this is that to know, right, to see in a society like this is to upset and to offend the believers. The reason why I wrote this down is because if you break down the word believe, right in the middle of that word, we have lie, lie, right? So there is a very big difference between believing something, which is having hope, faith, and a desire for something to be true, and knowing something, which is knowing beyond any reasonable doubt, knowing completely that something is true, not hoping that it's true, not having faith that it is true, knowing that it's true, right? When we have the ability, because of spiritual insight, because of being aware, because of the experiences that we've had that have made us more consciously aware and sensitive to things that others do not see and do not feel or do not have awareness of, because we have this sight, right? This knowing, it can make us appear in a way that upsets people who are just wanting to believe, right? Even if they're wanting to believe in the things that we know, because we know it, right? And we are not standing in a place of hoping to know. We know that itself can upset a believer, somebody who wants to know. Why? Because what gives you the right to have awareness? What makes you different? Why are you aware and they are not? Why do you know or feel like you know when they feel like they don't? And that itself, right, can be so maddening when you are a spiritually aware person, because you start to gaslight yourself almost because of the for the comfortability of those around you, for the comfortability of the believers. You start to dim your knowledge, you start to keep it to yourself, which is sometimes good. But there are also times and places where we need to express what we know. That's why we're here now in this time space reality with the knowledge and awareness that we have, because we need to be here to represent that, right? To represent that and to bring that into this experience. So when we are holding ourselves back, right? We are hiding our knowledge because we don't want to offend and upset those who are believing or wanting to believe. It's not easy, like I said, and it's not fun, because you know what you know, but because you are the only one that know it, you are unable to explain your knowing to people who do not have the same ability to know. It becomes an experience, like I said, of almost gaslighting yourself, doubting yourself, fearing your own knowledge, or being afraid of judgment of other people. That's why this space is here for you. What comes after this, right? When you are spiritually aware and you are in a society like this, right? And you find yourself struggling, and it is a struggle, especially initially. Like I said, knowing is a struggle. Seeing and not being able to talk about what you see is difficult. It's painful, even sometimes. So when you have decided, or you've come to a place where you no longer want to struggle, right? You now have to choose if you are going to thrive. And when I mention thriving in the modern society for a spiritually aware person, it becomes thriving, but at what cost, right? Is it a win or is it a L for you to thrive? And the reason why I ask the question in this way is because You can thrive spiritually, which to the society around you may seem as though you are losing because you're not participating in what other people are doing and you are not appearing to be aware of the same thing that others are because you have chosen to follow the spiritual path entirely. So that might be a win for you, but appear to be an L to the outside world. On the contrary, you can choose to thrive in the modern society, right? Which can appear to be a win, a W to the modern society, to people around you, to this construct. But to yourself, to your soul, it will feel like an L. It will feel like you are losing. Why? Because you are neglecting your spiritual awareness in pursuit of, you know, material things, acceptance of the modern society, achievement or accolades in this construct, right? So, thriving when you are a spiritually aware person becomes a choice. And if you aren't really and truly, ideally, in a state of equilibrium, you sit in between both of these worlds and you do well in both of these areas, but you don't over invest or lose yourself in spirituality or in modern society, right? That's the ideal aim. That's what I'm aiming for. That's where the path I'm walking currently, of balance and neutrality. But it does take experiences and being on either side of the, of the coin to eventually get there, to eventually find this path of balance and neutrality and to be able to walk it. So, the last thing that I want to say for you guys that have resonated with this video, let me know if you think you are spiritually aware. Let me know if you've just become spiritually aware or if you've always been spiritually aware. And if you feel like that has made you struggle in modern society, please comment and let me know your experiences below. I always want to hear how you feel and what you think. But this last question, it's not really a question, it's more of a statement, I guess. It's a question and a statement. It's something to reflect on, but it's also a little gift to you. For those of us, right, who are aware, the question, and this is a question not just for us, but for the whole world, the question becomes, where are we headed? And the reason I'm smiling is because I believe I know the answer to this question, right? And that is that despite whatever advancements seem to occur in this modern constructed world, in this modern society, it is evident, it is inevitable that where we are headed as a whole is going to take us either willingly or forcibly to spiritual awareness. So, for those of us that are spiritually aware, though the world may feel in opposition to us now, worry not, because there is only one road, one area left to go to, and that is spiritual awareness. We see it all around us, we see it in social media. We see it and feel it in the way that the world is shifting and the way that all the old ways of the world no longer seem appropriate or applicable, right? The sobering reality is that no matter how much this world attempts to deny, suppress, ignore, demonize spirituality, it is the only way that we are all headed. We are all headed to a spiritually aware reality. Some of us have just got there faster than others. So, my beautiful Black Swan, thank you for joining me in this podcast episode. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know how you resonate with the topics and the points that I've brought up here. And let me know how you navigate being spiritually aware in a modern society. Until next time, until next video, which will probably be next week, take care, stay hydrated. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next podcast episode. Bye bye.